You know what I mean?
I get that all the time.
Yeah, everybody's got like this person that they sort of know or used to know or somebody they know used to know, and they're like, oh yeah, their kid with autism. Oh no, man, she was so cool, like just chill. But then they all throw this in too to make you feel better. But man, really smart. Today's the day I could have stayed in bed all day.
It's dark and cold.
Oh, man. This is sleep weather to perfection.
I know. I love it.
Sitting right now staring at my bed going, I'll just get right back in that thing.
Hibernate.
I'll get right back in that thing all day and never leave. Oh, it's so rare, too. Usually I just want to get up and go and do everything. Today I'm like, no.
It's because it's cold.
It's been cold.
I know. The sun came out a little bit yesterday, so it made it much better. We were able to go to the park. So he had the park and ice cream.
Yeah, baby had the park yesterday. He didn't want to go at first, but then I guess he was all about it when he got there. I had to take Trey to baseball.
Yep, and Trey won.
Yeah, he's done really well at baseball. He's doing good.
It's only his second time playing.
But then on the way home, he wanted he's into all these new foods now, and the commercials are really, they get him. So he's all about this Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
And there's one on the way home. He made a great play to win the game for his team. The whole team played great, but he just, at the end of the game, he made this great play. And he's like, oh, man, KFC chicken sandwich. I was like, you know what? Fine. You earned it, man. It was out there cold. You played great. I get it. We come home. Of course, the other kids are just...
So
and I'm not going to
jealous.
sit at the drive-thru forever. It was late. It was maybe it was 8:30 or 8 o'clock, I guess. And I was like, we're not going to sit here at the drive-thru and order everybody food and everything. It's late. They already ate dinner. Get home, and of course the meltdowns begin because everybody else didn't get fried chicken.
Yeah, they fought for an hour.
Oh, my God. It was and I'm like, you can't, I'm not doing this anymore.
And I did feed everyone dinner already. I cook pretty much every night.
Yeah.
They ate.
Yeah, everybody had eaten dinner.
But Trey had his sport, and he was hungry.
Yeah, and he played really good, so... he did good, and then the kids were all mad. Austin probably is still mad.
Oh, I'm sure.
About not having a sandwich. Luckily enough, the only person who didn't care was Cal. He just could care less that he didn't have a Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich because he was never going to eat it anyway.
Nope, he never even notices that stuff.
No, that's one thing that you can go out and you could put food all next to him and everything. He just doesn't, he's locked in on his few things.
Yep.
Cal's food groups. If it's not pizza.
I have to make sure I'm stocked up on it every week.
You know what else is annoying, too, is when the older kids try to eat his snacks.
Yeah, I know. It's like Funyuns, Chex Mix, Goldfish.
Yeah, they try to get in there and dig in on his Uncrustables because they're starting to like some of that stuff.
Those Uncrustables are hard to find. So I'm like, I have 3 left in there. Do not eat them because I have to go get more.
Yeah, and then that's the one thing that they've been wanting to do. Jeez.
Oh, sorry.
Gulping your coffee. It's disgusting.
Okay, it's early.
Gulping it.
Yep, I'm tired.
I can tell. All right, what is this article you sent me?
They're talking about doing hearing tests for babies at birth. Well, they already do hearing tests for babies at birth. But I guess they have a new type of screening that can screen for autism because typically kids aren't diagnosed until they're around the age of 2. So they already have hearing tests at birth. And honestly, when he was first getting evaluated and stuff, he had to do 2 different hearing tests. They literally thought he had a hearing problem.
Yeah, but that was at the diagnosis. This is talking about...
before.
Yeah, this is talking about...
Something new they're trying to do at birth.
At birth. You could do this at birth, and then you could test the kids every so often after, depending on what the test would say.
Yeah.
So every kid would get this test.
Right.
If the parent wanted it.
And there's something in there that can detect autism.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand it.
Well, there's signs that they say that they would have to keep following up on the baby.
Right.
Because they're saying here that, so autism isn't typically diagnosed until about 2 years old, but this could give you early intervention depending on this test.
Yeah, so he got his early intervention starting at 22 months old. But I guess if they knew ahead of time, we could start before that.
You'd almost have to test the test. Could you imagine, giving birth and then the next day you're at the hospital and the doctor's like, look, we did this hearing thing. It doesn't mean that your child has autism. It just means there may be something with hearing. And that could mean that thing with hearing could have something to do with autism.
So then you're just scared to death.
Yeah. Like,
or worried all the time.
Yeah, like they're going to have to do something with the test to make sure it's a little more, Charlie had that thing in her head before she was born. They had to do like a scan of her in your stomach.
Yeah, there's some type of cyst or something that grows on the brain.
Yeah.
And typically it's gone at a certain week of pregnancy, and hers was still there. And that test would detect if, or that is like a sign of like she could have, I don't know, different type of, what was it?
Oh, geez. I don't even remember what it was. It was scary, though. It was.
Anyways, but it could go away, and it did. So it's just one of those things, like, it might still be there, but then it could go away.
It was cerebral palsy? No.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know, but yeah, so they said that the cyst was there. And then they were like, okay, so right before you were going to give birth, they're like, do you want us to take another scan? Because if it's still there, like a week before you're due, like she's probably going to have this other condition because the cyst would still be there. And we were like, nah, well, and they're like, it's a very low chance, but if you just want to know for sure. And we're like, I don't know. This is so weird. Like,
I know it was weird, but we didn't do it. And
they're like, everybody has these cysts, like when you're growing, but then they go away.
Yeah.
But then if they don't go away, then they cause all these other problems.
Right.
So like that was something that, like then you got to think about it forever.
I know, it was scary. Like I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It would be like the same with this. If you do this hearing test right at birth and they're like, listen, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, could be that. That test just should probably I don't know. You want that test to make sure it's really accurate.
Right. But one of the first things they do is test the hearing before going into speech and all that. And then even before he went to the developmental pediatrician, they did that again, but a more in-depth one. And it's kind of like, how do you really test a kid's hearing that young? But they do it.
Yeah, but he doesn't have hearing problems.
No, they don't. He doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that they really tested the hearing.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if this test, even at birth, they would have said, oh, no, he's fine.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Just, you don't know.
It's like anything else on the spectrum, right? You could pass all these, tests and exams, and then you get to a point and you're like, something's a little different. Something's a little off. And then, this other thing started kicking in, or however you describe it. And you're like, yeah, but he did hearing good. He's walking. He's there. Oh, yeah. But then, because that's why the spectrum's so wide.
Well, I just thought it was interesting. They're trying to do different things.
Yeah.
To detect early.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely know that hearing, because even though he doesn't have hearing problems, he has the hearing sensitivity.
Oh, yeah.
Like he'll cover his ears sometimes.
That's becoming more and more, covering his ears,
But sometimes it's not because something's loud. It's like if something's about to excite him or scare him, he'll still do that.
Yeah.
It's
even the whole happy birthday, singing happy birthday.
Yeah. There's points in some of his cartoon episodes where there's a point because he'll watch the same ones over and over, so he knows something's about to happen, and he'll just cover his ears.
Yep.
But it's not because it's going to get loud. It's just because something's about to happen. So
yeah, he's preparing himself to be excited.
Yeah, it's like he hears the excitement,
right?
Which is weird because it's not a volume thing. It's just exciting, and he hears it, and then he covers his ears.
Well, for him, when we first started noticing he's not speaking like he should, he walked later than our kids, there was different signs that we didn't see until we got more into this, like lining up his toys, or like you said before, looking at things sideways or close up, and
yeah,
but he's always mouthed a lot, always putting stuff in his mouth, and that's a developmental delay. And we're having problems now with bite bracelets and stuff because we've talked about before, his teeth are too strong now, so he's tearing them apart. So it's finding the right thing, which is very hard.
Yeah, everybody says there's a sign, but it just depends on like, I think a lot of it depends on the other kids that you had and, how you are for, that they're the way that they walked and talked and played. And he was just nothing like our other kids, like nothing like it. So we knew
Right.
it was sort of like, this is interesting. I mean, we didn't jump to autism or spectrum or anything like that, but we knew it was like, yeah, the sideways head thing, like looking at things sideways. And then as he got older and stronger, he was able to actually, he would actually get upside down on his head and look, and like he would watch shows upside down on his head. And I'm like,
Well,
this is different because he's watching a show on his head upside down. Like won't you get like nauseous doing that?
he was just doing it yesterday. I just brought it up to the ABA therapist. He would probably really like gymnastics.
Oh yeah, like the big mats and everything.
Yeah, but the place closest to us, I've already called about it before. They won't work with special needs.
Yeah.
So she told me about a place in St. Pete.
Close by. Close by in St. Pete.
Stop it.
Sounds like
more
traffic.
driving for us.
Sounds like traffic and sounds like a big no. Sounds like a big no. I hear St. Pete. I'm like,
No for now.
Tampa, Bridges. Yeah, it's you almost can't, like when you hear that those places don't take care of special needs or they won't work with special needs kids, like do you get mad or do you understand?
It hurts my feelings. Like I get sad. I get sad because I'm like, okay, he's not a typical kid. But then I'm like, okay, I get it because I don't want you to say you can handle it if you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it hurts me at first.
It's weird.
I don't get mad though.
I fully understand. Like I actually almost, I almost support those people. The fact that they are like understanding and they are content in like how they're running their business where they're like, trust me, that just wouldn't be good here. Like we couldn't run it here. It may drive off some of our current customers. You know what I mean? I'm like, I get it. And thanks for not like lying and just trying to get our business. Thanks for not saying, oh, we can accommodate special needs just to try to get the money. And then we show up and it's a total disaster. And we're like, this isn't good. And then your other customers, who have been there, they're like, this isn't good. And then you're going to wind up losing everybody's money.
Well, and then like if we showed up and they couldn't really handle it, but said they could, then we would feel awkward.
Yeah.
The people would feel awkward, so it would just not be good for anyone. And even if someone tells me they can handle it, I'm like, have you experienced it?
Yeah.
And the answer is no.
Yeah.
So if you haven't experienced it, but you're telling me you're open to it, it's nice, but you're really not prepared for what's about to happen.
Yeah. No, and it is because I think some people hear autism and they're like, oh yeah. I've got a friend's cousin's ex who had autism, and I remember that kid. He was cool. He was just kind of chill, kind of shy. You know what I mean?
I get that all the time.
Yeah, everybody's got like this person that they sort of know or used to know, or somebody they know used to know, and they're like, oh yeah, their kid with autism. Oh no, man, she was so cool, like just chill. But then they all throw this in too to make you feel better. But man, really smart.
All the time.
Oh yeah, like man, she was really smart. I'm like, really? How often like did you spend time with her? Oh, I only met her once, but dude, I gotta tell you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I just talked to my mom last week, and she's like, she asked me, she was like, well, Cal should be starting to play sports now, right? And I'm like, no, he's not. I mean, he's 4, but he's like a 2-year-old. He's not prepared to do that at all. And she's like, well, my friend's grandson's friend. Exactly what you just said.
It's like,
he had autism and he plays sports and he's even in college. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I think some people though do it. It's like back to the companies that I appreciate when they're like, hey, sorry, no, we can't handle special needs. I'm like, hey, I appreciate it. I know there's some people out there that get crazy. They'll get on social media and bash these places, right? I'm like, they're just telling you how they can best run their business, and I really sort of appreciate it. I think it's pretty cool. Like, I don't want to show up there and be a problem for your business. I'm glad that you're saying that you couldn't handle what my kid needs, because why waste my time and his time? Like, I appreciate you telling me. It's not because you don't want to or you're like, discriminating against special needs. I don't think it has anything to do with that. It has to do with you're not prepared to run a business like that, and that's cool to tell people.
right, I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's understandable. Like, I feel sad at first.
Well, yeah, having the conversations is, too, maybe what else? It's like when you get the no's all the time. Hey, we special no, and then you call someone else. Hey, do you special no, no. So you get like 4 or 5 no's, and then you're sort of like on a no kick.
You're right.
And you're like, getting a lot of no's, like it's a lot of like, he can't do this, he can't do that. But then you just got to keep thinking and keep figuring it out and finding other ways. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've actually considered renting a small building and putting all these like toys and mats and everything there just so he can go play, like just a wide open space for him, just his private little like play studio, because you can only have so much of that at your house, and because with the 4 other kids trying to live their life.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know, you can find some old building and...
Like a sensory room.
Yeah. But you know what? It is... Those kids, not those kids, the people who always have that story, like you said, your mom was like, oh, my friends, grandparents, whatever. When I first started talking about, I was still working at the radio station in Tampa, and when I started talking about autism and going through the thing, the diagnosis and everything like that, and people are like, you'll read these things online, and people go, yeah, it's a tight-knit group because there's not a lot of people who know about autism. Man, everybody, after I was talking about it at that radio station, knew somebody with autism. I think one guy came up to me and told me he had autism. I'm like, but the stories, though, were real loose like that. But the people were really trying, the ones who did come up and talk to me were trying to be nice. Like, they were just trying to be like, I know someone who has experienced it. You know what I mean?
Well, they want you to feel comfortable.
Yeah, but they do. The funny thing is that the preface is all the same. It's their friend's, buddy's, neighbor's cousin. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
or it's
for
their
sure.
ex-coworker's boyfriend's mom, stepkids. It's like there's all these like, and you're like, no, really? Oh man, that's crazy. What was it like? What was it like? How did it? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I only met them once or twice. It seemed cool though, man. Super cool kids. But then the end's all the same. And really smart. I'm like,
that does always happen.
I know. Everybody throws it in because it's like.
And it's like, okay, I get it. Like, you're trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I know. Like, Cal is really smart.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other stuff going on.
It's like they caught themselves saying, yeah, man, that sucks. You can't take your kids to Chuck E. Cheese. But they might get a scholarship for Harvard. Like it's supposed to make you feel better.
Oh, my gosh.
It is all the same. But it's funny. But really super smart.
Well, I think, too, when you talk about it with people that don't really know and understand, they start to feel a little awkward. It happens in my chair sometimes. I'm doing hair, and I'll bring it up. And then I know when I should keep talking about it, and I know when to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I'm starting to now pick up other people's, like, when they change the conversation.
Yeah.
I was at one of the girls' football games the other day, and one of the parents, I don't know, we were talking, their kids, my kids, and, whatever. And we get to Cal, I was like, yeah, he's almost 5. I was like, and I think it was like, well, when's he going to start playing? He's autistic, so it's just everything's a little bit delayed, and we got to sort of, figure out the route for him in sports. And,
right.
So then I'm like, well, I don't want you to think my kid's a lazy kid. So I'm like, well, he loves to be outside. I start making up. I'm like, oh, he loves the beach. It's his favorite place. He's out there all the time. Oh, he's in the pool. I mean, that kid could be in the pool and swim all day, So then I'm starting to like overcorrect. And then they were sort of like, well, there's some sports. And then next thing you know, I'm like, we're just all making each other feel better here now. None of this all matters. We're all just, covering our bases.
Yeah.
But you get caught in this whole thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, especially when you're in a setting that's not, if we were at the Autism Special Olympics field, well, then we would all know while we were there.
Yeah.
But we weren't at that setting. So then when this stuff comes up, everybody starts sort of exchanging pleasantries. But it's,
Well, it's like even when we go to the fields and he's in his wagon and we're pulling him. Yeah. And it's like, how old is he? Or people will try to talk to him or something.
I know.
And then you feel like you have to, I've said this before, you feel like you have to say he's autistic or whatever.
Well, he'll have his iPad when outside there just because it keeps him a little bit more focused, and he can sing some of his songs on the iPad videos with, like he'll pull up YouTube or whatever. And some people go, hey, man, how are you? Hi, how are you? He's just locked into his iPad. So I'm like, well, we just got labeled like, the parents that don't care and just throw our kids iPads. And they're I could almost hear some of them going like, oh, the kids these days, they're just sitting there on their iPads. All they care about. Won't even say hi to you when you talk to them. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
the older guys.
Yeah. One guy I was for sure because it was their 3 kids were on the same team, which was really cool. They got to do that for 2 seasons, flag football.
Right.
And this one guy came, I was talking to him, and I could just see his mind going, well, all they did was focus on these 3 kids. Look at the poor little baby. They didn't care about him. They just threw him an iPad and focused on the other kids playing football, and I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah, that's when it's like, don't judge people.
Yeah, and then I'm sort of judging him, like thinking that's what he's saying. That may not be what he was thinking. But it's insanity, man.
Well, there is a thing on YouTube, if you haven't heard about it. It's super simple songs.
Oh, God.
And I didn't know about that until we started the whole speech and OT and all that.
Be careful. I'm just warning
Super
y'all.
simple songs.
Yeah, these songs just don't get in your brain and go away in a week or 2. They stay with you forever.
But they're like educational.
Oh, jeez. I'm trying to block right now. I'm just, in my head, I'm going, because I don't want to start singing them.
Well, you know how some people are like, don't let your kid watch TV and stuff.
Yeah.
Like for speech, they prefer you to have those songs on. Everyone has a smart TV now, so you just pull it up.
Yeah, he's into those. They still get them now, like they still work.
Yeah,
and he's been 3 years probably watching some of those.
2
years.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, going on 3.
Oh gosh, I could see the
He's
intro, the
almost
little
5.
mallet banging on the xylophone. Doon 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 doon. Oh. Goodness gracious!
Which one is that?
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh my god!
Oh, I would sit
stuck in your head.
I would sit here sometimes and just those things would come on. But he really did get into it.
Yeah, it's good, but they're educational. So
yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like he'll be out on his iPad watching things like that too. And a 5-year-old is way or close to 5 years should be way beyond those type of songs and whatever nursery rhymes and stuff. But that's just where he is, and so that's where we are. You have no choice to be where he is.
Keep him where he's at.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just
be where your child is at.
We are where he is, and that's, but you still got to look at the rest of the world sometimes and laugh at it and, have fun with it. And
well, I just said yesterday, I was like, I feel a little bad he's not potty trained, but because I did all of our kids at 2.5. But his ABA therapist was like, do not feel bad at all. She goes, you did exactly what you were supposed to do by being where he's at. Because if you would have pushed him, that would have been terrible. Like bad all around. Like meltdown after meltdown, and then it could not even work. So,
we are where he is, and that's where we'll be.
Well, there's starting to be signs. Like he asked me to change his diaper over the weekend. So I said, maybe spring break. I'll devote it to it with her.
Let me tell you what she's doing here now, people, because I've seen this, because I
What?
live here. About 15 episodes ago, it was summer break. And now she's seen a couple of signs. It's moving back to spring break.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Don't fall for this, people. The potty training is going to start next week. She's already got it in her mind.
You're crazy.
No.
That is how I am.
Yeah, I can. What do you mean? I mean,
because I have to be all in.
Yeah.
Okay, but I also have to have the time. So I'm saying maybe we'll try spring break.
Boy. Here we go. Here we go. Seen this movie. Well, every day. Seen this movie.
Yeah, like if I say I'm going to paint the house.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to paint the house. 2 hours later, she's coming home from Ace Hardware with 6 gallons of paint, rollers, plastic bins.
Redoing the cabinets.
Oh, cabinets or drills. Cabinets are out on the driveway.
Hey, I finished that pretty fast.
Yep, finished it real fast. You know what else happened real fast? She goes, yeah, I don't know if I like it. And all of a sudden, zing, 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 zing. They were changing colors.
Oh, my gosh.
It's crazy, man.
Well, when I want to get things done, I do.
Oh, that's good. I mean, that's good. Yeah. You're more handy than I am.
I know.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, I don't, you'll grab power tools and get to work. And I'm just like, nah, I didn't do any of this. I'm going to make this problem worse.
Well, except like if something breaks, then you'll start looking at YouTube. Like the drain or something.
Yeah.
I don't do all that.
Well, those are like emergency situations I might have to get involved in.
Right.
But cosmetically, you're all about doing, and then you're always like, if I screw it up, I could just fix it. And I'm like, oh, but that sounds like a lot more work. So you've screwed it up, then you got to fix your screw up just to get back to normal. Oh man.
Like when I moved the closet doors and I did it really fast before you got home from school.
Yeah, you did good at that though. I don't know.
You went and picked the kids up from school, and I'm like, if I start doing this, he's gonna be like, "What are you doing?" So I just hurried up and did it super fast before you got home.
Some days I'll come home and I'll be like, why the hell did she buy that? You don't need that. I'm like, why did you buy this? Like, why did we need this? And you're like, oh, no, that came from the other room in the back closet. I go in there and look. I'm like, damn. She did move the doors from the other room in the back closet out to the middle of the kitchen. That's pretty crazy.
It's heavy, too.
These things look like brand new.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe you may have missed your calling. Like, what are some of those shows? Who are some of the people? I don't watch them, but there's
you
a couple
said
of
Joanna Gaines, and is that her name?
Yeah.
I don't watch them either.
Yeah, and then there's a couple other of like husband and wives or something.
There's a lot of husbands and wives.
Yeah. And they, you know,
redo houses.
Yeah, they all kind of interior decorate. I was watching this beach one. I say I don't watch it. And then the other day I was watching this beach one. I like the beach ones when they redo the beach house. And this woman, man, she was incredible. Like she was like you, and the husband was really just like me. Like he couldn't even see the vision. You know what I mean?
I'm good at using stuff I already have.
Yeah, she had the vision, and she was doing all this, and the husband was like, "Ooh," and I'm like, that's how I look like sound like.
Oh my god!
Like you say something, I'm like, I don't know. Like my brain just like, I can't see it. And then you start doing it, and I'm like, no, damn, that's pretty good.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
All right, we gotta go, man. Thank you, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the compliments.
What about what? Oh, about the house? And
yeah.
the work? Oh yeah. You're welcome. It's fine. It's just the truth. You're just a lot better at that kind of stuff. All right, so we're out of here.
Gotta go.
Oh, I'll link that story that you gave me about the hearing test at birth.
Yeah, we don't know that it's gonna work, but I'm just glad that they're trying different things.
I think it's good to be aware of what's available. I mean, like maybe I don't know. Maybe you have a child with autism for some reason, and this is interesting, but like if you have one, the next one is a lot more likely.
And it doesn't always happen.
It's just more likely. Doesn't mean like just more likely. So maybe if that was the case, then maybe we should do the hearing test at birth because it's a sibling of a child with autism. Like that might be something to consider.
Yeah,
if it's
a good
sibling, just to get the heads up. I'll put that link in the show notes.